institution of achievement and the student of championship style.
Here come your Missouri Tigers! presented by Mizz. It's time for the shoe basketball. Let's make the starters rising by the sports and outdoors. First, the visitors, the UCF Knights. 6'2" guard number 1, BJ Taylor. 6'3" guard number 2, Terrell Allen. 6'6" guard number 15, Aubrey Hopkins. 7'6" center number 24, Temple Hall. 6'11" forward number 35, Smith. The Knights are coached by John Dawkins. He's assisted by Robbie Black, Kevin Norris, and Stick.
Are you ready? Is you ready? You say you're ready. Whole squad ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready. We came in the CJ, but you got no. Let them know. Bring what you got, I'm going to the top. You can bring what you got, I'm going to the top. Bring what you got. Number 3.
He drives, he scores. The Tigers lead by 4.
To the top.
Program is alive with the shorty.
If you think you with my squad, we've been running hard. Can't take that from us. We've been running hard on the job. Can't take that from us. Are you ready? Is you ready? You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
Missouri Tigers. From Vallejo, Illinois, 6'4", guard number 4, Chipon Peterson. 6'4" sophomore guard from Edwardsville, Illinois, number 13, Mark Smith. A sophomore, 6'10" forward from East St. Louis, Illinois, number 23, Jeremiah Cuba. From Parkway, Indiana, a 6'2" senior guard, number 15, Jordan Guy.
It is the SEC on ESPN as we come to you from lovely Como, Columbia, Missouri, Mizzou Arena, site of some great college basketball coming your way as Missouri trying to snap a 2-game losing skid, taking on the red-hot UCF Knights. They've won 5 in a row, 6-1 overall. Should be a lot of fun inside Mizzou Arena. Dave Neal alongside former Illinois guard Sean Harrington. Glad you could join us this afternoon. And Sean, obviously UCF comes in here, red-hot team, 5 in a row. And I think a lot of people are starting to see the pieces come together for Johnny Dawkins. My question is, how good is this team? How good can they be?
Yeah, they've got all the pieces in place. They had a lot of injuries last year. So those guys stay healthy, and they're starting to learn how to play together because they didn't play with each other last year. They're looking really good, and defensively, they've really picked it up here in the last couple of weeks. This is a dangerous team in the American. Pick to win it. If they stay healthy, they can definitely win the conference.
Certainly be a tough out for Missouri here at home today. Now, as far as this team goes, UCF, B.J. Taylor's the guy that makes this thing go. He's a preseason conference player of the year. How good is this guy?
He's explosive, and he's had 3 games of 20 or more already on the season, and he puts a lot of pressure on the defense because he attacks, he gets into the lane. He's getting to the foul line 8.5 times a game. So able to get into that lane, create for himself, and also for others.
Yeah, it was 9 of 11 at the free throw line, and UCF's last outing, that was at home against Alabama. A big win for the Knights in that one. Missouri just trying to figure themselves out a little bit when they lose Jonte Porter before the season started, trying to put the pieces together, and you can see that still kind of work a little bit. They are just 3-3 on the season. There's Taylor, Allen, Dawkins, Taco Fall at 7'6" in the middle, and Colin Smith rounds out the 5 for the Knights.
A very experienced group, older, but because of those injuries, a lot of these guys, first year that they've played together.
And talking to Johnny Dawkins before the game today, he was telling us that, yeah, even for him, he's still, even though these guys are veterans, he's still learning how the pieces all fit together.
Yeah, he did a terrific job with them last year, dealing with all of those injuries. Dawkins obviously mentioned the entire season. Fall and Taylor missing half the season each.
How about that 3 from Mark Smith, the transfer from Illinois, who started this season exceptionally well, starts this game off really well for Missouri.
Yeah, he is on a terrific streak, shooting over 50% from beyond the arc. Right now, when he releases it, it's going in. You got to have a hand in his face.
Yeah, Mark had 19 points against Temple in that tough loss. It was a tough loss for Missouri against Temple here in this building. It turned it over too many times, but still rallied, had a chance to win late. But Temple held on, and disappointment for Missouri. But I think there were some things you could take out of that game if you're Conzo Martin and the 5 that he puts on the floor here tonight.
Yeah, in a very young group, Geist and Puryear have to be the guys to be consistent, to let some of these other guys fall into their role, figure it out. A lot of freshmen and sophomores on this team still trying to learn to play together.
Brown grabs the rebound. Adds a big piece to this pie for UCF, number 21. He is an all-energy guy who really attacks the glass. Here's Dawkins. Now down to Taco Fall, quickly double team. Splits it, gets it to Dawkins. Some contact in the lane. They're going to say a foul against Missouri. Gotta go against Pickett. Oh, excuse me, Tillman. Dillon picks up that foul. As you look at Conzo Martin.
He's known for being a great defender himself in his playing days, and he always gets his teams to play hard. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. How do they defend Taco Fall in the lane? That time, they sent a hard double down on the post. Both defenders did a really good job of getting their hands high. Talking about 7'6" over there that you're trying to do the double on. Give Taco a lot of credit. He stepped through it, was patient, was able to find Dawkins, and he picked up the foul that time.
So a 3-2 Missouri lead. Here's Geist, picks up his dribble, gets it back to Mark Smith. Missouri working baseline. They'll give it to Puryear. He will nearly turn it over, but it'll still belong to Missouri with 14 on the shot clock.
This is a tight trap with high hands, so Taco Fall cannot see open players, but he does a good job stepping through it, not rushing. Very easily could have turned the ball over there, but very patient. He's going to see double teams all the time, so he's used to it. But defensively, you have to come with very high hands.
Mark Smith again for 3. Looks like he might be feeling it this afternoon. Back-to-back three-pointers for that young man.
And he can get hot. He can get hot quickly. I like to use my club 165. You add up your field goal, 3-point, and free throw percentages. If it's 165 or higher, you are a very good shooter, and he's got that right now. He's at 171, so he is shooting the ball extremely well. Over 50% from the floor, over 50% from three.
He's actually better behind the arc in terms of percentage than he is inside the arc.
2 for 2 out of the gate, so that's going to continue to climb. You can see the difference from last year to this year. He worked extremely hard on that shot in the summer and in the fall leading up to the season.
Pickett from the corner, that won't go. Big rebound, though, from Puryear, kept it alive. Back out to Geist. He'll knock home a three. Wow, it's a 9-2 start for Missouri, up 7 in the opening minutes.
And always good to shoot a three off of an offensive rebound. You can kick it out. The shooter gets to step into a shot to get that percentage a little higher. Jordan Geist averaging just over 18 in his last 3 games, so he's playing really well here in the last week and a half.
Brown just inside the arc, that won't go. Rebound to Pickett. Javon, the freshman out of Belleville, Illinois. B.J. Taylor trying to defend Mark Smith now. Dawkins comes out of there with it. The turnover, boy, that's been an Achilles heel problem for this Missouri team. Out of the corner, that one's no good. Easy rebound right into the hands of Tillman.
Cold shooting right now for UCF. That's a decent look for Taylor in the corner, one that he normally makes. Not able to knock it down that time.
Doug Shows on the baseline has a foul against B.J. Taylor.
This is good hustle on the offensive glass. Puryear gets it from the backside, and then Pickett doesn't relax after he missed the three. He'll get the second chance, kicks it out to Geist. He steps into that three. Percentage is always going to go up when you can step into your shot.
You were a three-point shooter in your day at Illinois. Did you have a favorite spot?
I was just off the elbows, just off the top of the key. Kind of like that angle coming in. Played for Lon Kruger. He used to call it the scholarship shot from the top of the key. He said, if you can't make it from the top of the key, you don't deserve a scholarship. So he liked the top of the key. I always liked it just off the top of the key, a little bit on the wings.
Allen will get it to Taylor. Here's BJ. He'll get into the lane. Good. Big hop step backwards. Now Taco Fall posts up on the block. A little too far to turn and dunk, and gets it to Dawkins. That's off the iron, and a foul against Missouri underneath. Crowd doesn't like it. Lee Cassell, the referee on that end, saw something. But Missouri's off to a really good start, up 7 here in the first half.
Exclusive presentation of college basketball. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Walt Disney World Resort.
Good look at Columbia, Missouri. We're at Mizzou Arena where homestanding Tigers out in front 9-2 here. Boy, Missouri's had one of those up and down years so far out of the gates, 3-3. You see the 3 wins against teams that haven't surpassed a cumulative 500 record. Meanwhile, their opponents have gotten off to a good start. But what stands out to you here through 6 games with Missouri?
Consistency is going to be big. You're talking about a very young team, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. Geist and Purdy are the 2 guys that need to be consistent so the rest of the guys can fill into their roles. Obviously, Mark Smith has played extremely well. Able to get the waiver. They weren't sure if he was going to be able to play coming into the season, so he gives them a huge lift. But consistent play is always a key when you have young guys trying to figure it out, getting used to the college game.
Well, UCF has yet to hit a shot from the field. Their only points came at the free throw line. But as you and I were talking between the break, they're decent shots. There you go, another one. Brown just inside the arc. That's a 2-pointer.
And he just missed that shot a couple possessions ago, so that's a good look. Taylor missed one from the corner that he normally makes. So you have to keep taking good shots. They've taken good shots so far. Dawkins also missed a wide open 3 that he's going to make most of the time.
Ronnie Suggs just checks in. He turns it over. Crowd thought there might have been a foul, but the Knights go back the other way. Dawkins with a traveling violation. You know, we just saw Brown a moment ago hit that shot. He had maybe both feet were on the line. You hear it over and over. That's probably the worst. Coach will say it's the worst shot you can take, right?
Yeah, you want to be cognizant of where you are on the floor. Obviously, some guys, that range just doesn't extend out to 3. Brown has not attempted one on the year, but that was really close.
Here's Smith, where he's trying to get to his right side. They will switch defensively. Pinson also on the floor now, gets it back to Smith. That shot off the mark. Well, he really wanted to get that shot up, you could tell. But another offensive rebound, another opportunity here for Missouri. Making another opportunity. Here's Smith in traffic, goes to the left hand and draws some contact, and he'll head to the line.
Really good job. Mizzou crashing the offensive boards early in this game. Earlier on led to a wide open 3. And Geist at the top of the key, and this time multiple possessions leads to a foul.
So Smith at the free throw line, 9 of 13 on the year. Hey, Tuesday night on ESPN, it's the 24th annual Jimmy V Classic from Madison Square Garden, and it's presented by Corona. At 7 o'clock Eastern, Oklahoma and Notre Dame will meet for the very first time on the hardwood. Then it's Florida and West Virginia, both games on ESPN, and you can also catch them on the ESPN app. Big night of hoops coming up on Tuesday night on ESPN. Taylor flies back the other way, and he draws the foul, and that is what he does, and he'll head to the free throw line.
There's a quick break up the sideline after the missed free throw. Taylor able to beat the defense down the floor. Missouri got to have better communication. Transition defense cannot give up a layup attempt off of a missed free throw.
Preseason AAC Player of the Year. 8th all time at Central Florida in free throws. Boy, when he went down the very first game last year, it changed the whole dynamic of this team. And we talked about the injuries throughout the season last year. The fact that Johnny Dawkins got this team to win 19 games is incredible. Those that don't follow UCF, probably that was an under-the-radar story, but 19 wins off a group that was missing 2, sometimes 3 starters.
Yeah, you missed Dawkins for the entire season. You just mentioned Taylor missing 16 games. Taco Fall missed 16 games. Those are 3 huge pieces to the puzzle that were out.
11-6 Missouri out in front, 13:43 to go in the opening half. B.J. Taylor, that might have been partially blocked, the 3 off the mark. Here comes Pinson back the other way, the freshman out of Chicago. Underneath, that time it was Mitchell Smith. Well, for the Knights, off to a really good start at 6-1. They've won 5 in a row. And B.J. Taylor, Dawkins Fall, all important in that streak. Their last loss was to Florida Atlantic. But you hit on it in the open. Johnny Dawkins' teams will play defense. You can count on that.
And that's how you win multiple games in a row, is if you are consistent on that defensive end, you keep yourself in ball games, you're going to keep games close, make it difficult for your opponent to score. And we saw the graphic, there's some firepower on this offense when you start talking Taylor and Dawkins, two guys that can light it up on any night. And then they have 7-6 inside Taco Fall. Very difficult to simulate him in practice. Getting ready for him. You can bring out the brooms, you can bring out the sticks, whatever you want to do to try to simulate going into the lane on 7-6. You're not used to seeing that as a college player.
Missouri's doubled up UCF. Here's B.J. Taylor again. Cut off on the baseline, but finds the open Allen in the corner. That one's a little bit short. Rebound into the hands of Pinson. Watson swings it to the corner. Turnover. Back the other way goes Allen, and they're going to call a block. Doug Shouse and Pat Adams looked at each other. They both had a block call.
You can't have turnovers that lead to breakouts. It's pretty good there. Defense still trying to get back into position.
I think Watson was definitely in the act of moving.
Yep, still moving. Pretty good job trying to get back to take the charge. But definitely something that this young team wants to work on is not turning the basketball over, and especially turning the basketball over, allowing your opponent to get runouts.
So 1 out of 2 at the line for Allen. UCF shooting just 57% at the line as a team. Of course, some of that could be attributed to Taco Fall's 27%. He shoots, what, 72% from the field, but 27% at the line. Here's Puryear. Trying to go baseline, quickly double team. Back to Watson now. Shot clock at 5. Pinson will send one up off the back of the iron. But another offensive rebound. That is number 4 for Missouri. And then a foul on Smith. Colin Smith picks up his first.
And that possession, UCF went to a zone. It bothered Missouri a little bit. They didn't get into a very good rhythm. Didn't recognize it at first. But going into that zone, now you don't have a player to block out. You have to go get that rebound. UCF got caught watching it. Leads to another possession for Missouri.
UCF just 1 of 6 from the field here in the first 7.5 minutes. Talk about UCF playing defense. Missouri's done a nice job. Over Taco Fall there, but a loose ball goes right to Pinson, gets it to Puryear. He's doubled up, finds an open man. Good ball fake there by Pinson, and he converts the 3. That is the 4th 3 here in the opening half for the Tigers.
And again, it's extending the play, more offensive rebounds. You're on defense for a long time. Leads to an open shot, leads to a good 3 for Missouri.
Bounce pass underneath. That one works well for Colin Smith, who lays it up and in as he got to the rim.
Good finish around the rim. Played through a little bit of contact. When you're struggling to shoot the basketball, you got to get some easy ones. That was an easier basket for UCF.
There's Puryear working the elbow, spins in the lane. Taco Fall gets that blocked shot. Back the other way, Smith, count the basket, he'll head to the line. So Colin Smith, the transfer from George Washington, in the open floor, fighting through contact. He'll have a free throw coming up.
ESPN as we continue. It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Of course, the V Foundation, founded in '93 by ESPN and Jim Valvano, the legendary NC State basketball coach and commentator, with us here at ESPN. And, you know, it is V Week, and there's an individual here in this building that certainly told us his story today, and it is certainly a heartfelt story for Konzo Martin, who in his mid-20s, a couple decades ago, a healthy, young professional basketball player out of nowhere was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and just really his body began to break down, lost a bunch of weight, was still playing basketball overseas, couldn't figure out what was going on, thought it might have been some sort of bronchitis. Turns out that it was cancer and had a big tumor right around his heart area. Had to go through a bunch of chemotherapy, about 4.5 months. Was newly married, had a brand new son at home, and he was over in Europe playing. Finally came back to the States, figured out what the problem was, fought through it, says it's changed his life, changed his perception of life, makes him appreciate every day. And just hearing him tell that story, Sean, was just amazing.
Yeah, just a great story told by him, and so he's just so appreciative. Just every day, you don't take it for granted, and obviously he wants to win as many games as possible, but just to be out here, to be able to influence young men, try to help them become better people on and off the court, he just appreciates every day. Fun guy to be around, fun guy to listen to, just an amazing story.
Well, certainly his story, there are millions of them out there just like Konzo Martin. And you want to join the ESPN and the V Foundation to fight against cancer, be sure to visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Here's Smith. Boy, he's gotten off to a good start. Without him, who knows where they'd be offensively right now for Colin Smith.
Yeah, really struggling to shoot from outside right now, and Smith has been able to get in around the rim, get some easy baskets here. Get the momentum back on UCF's side.
UCF missed 5 of the first 6 shots, but they have since hit 3 in a row to cut this to 1.
They switch to the zone again here, keeping Missouri on the perimeter. As a missed shot, do they box out this time?
You know, Taco Fall won't get any credit at all for that defense. There's no block shot, no rebound, but he forced that shot off the mark by a good 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, he flies out at you.
8'2" wingspan.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing it. We talked about you can't prepare for that length. You're used to going in there and it's 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". So you shoot the basketball a certain way your whole life, your whole college career, and then 7'6" flies at you. You better put a little something extra on it. And stepping into it right there, that's normally a shot that Pickett's going to get off without any problem. The big man's coming in from underneath the basket. It's a contested shot, but one that you normally get off. You see 7'6" flying at you. You put a little bit more arc on it, and you saw the shot released off Pickett's hand. It goes over the rim, hits the backboard. You mentioned not a block, but it's an altered shot.
I had a chance to watch Taco a little bit last year before his injuries. And one of the things that stands out to me, he's actually got pretty good footwork. He's got some muscle on his feet. You start thinking like, you think of Manute Bol, 7'7", very slender, not very physical. This is a guy that carries weight pretty well and still moves very well in the paint.
He's done a very good job improving his game. each and every year. And some of the silver lining to the injury was he was able to put on some weight. And he was able to get a little bit stronger. Obviously, you're practicing every day playing games. Sometimes it's difficult to keep weight on, especially for a guy with that frame.
They're going to say goaltending. That ball was in the cylinder. Count the basket for Missouri.
Goaltending, point Tigers.
Good look here from the rim can. Ball's hanging on over. That's a Missouri player that touched it.
Exactly.
Give him the bucket.
They ended up waving it off and said Missouri. Reed Nico was the one who got a hand on it.
That is the right call.
Jordan Geist picks up his first foul. Jordan been quiet here, first half. He does have 3 points on a three-pointer as UCF with an opportunity now to take the lead here with B.J. Taylor at the free throw line. 76%. That one rattles home and we're tied. First time UCF has been tied since we tipped it off.
We talked about, is UCF a legitimate team in the American? Are they a legitimate team nationally? A team that can be in the NCAA tournament? I think this is a good sign here in a game like this where you are struggling. You're not playing your best game. You're on the road. You took a punch from Missouri early on. They made some threes, and you've grinded all the way back to take a lead when you're not playing your best basketball. That's a sign of a good team.
Smith in and out, no good. Puryear had his hands on it, but it bounces right to Taylor. VJ into the lane, drew the contact. He'll head back to the line. What is it about a guy like BJ Taylor? Why is he so hard to defend?
Crafty. That's a great possession right there to see. Why is he hard to guard? He plays with a change of speed. Change direction. Uses his body then to score around the rim. When you talk about a guy who's 6'2", you don't usually think of strength, but he uses his body so well around the basket. That time, able to get his shoulders past, keep the defender off of him. He gets to the line 8.5 times a game, so he puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Able to change direction, change speed like that. It's hard to guard. He had the defenders turning around in circles.
Had 24 against Alabama, 6 of 11 from the field, 9 of 11 at the free throw line. Since Missouri led 9-2, the Knights are on an 18-8 run.
UCF has gone to this zone here. They've done a good job pressuring, not giving Missouri any good looks, and they continue to rebound out of it as well.
Ooh, big collision underneath. They're going to say offensive foul against Missouri as Pinson went flying to the rim.
As he get out of that restricted area. Might be a tough call there. It looks like he's sliding to his left still a little bit.
I think he was moving because he had to get out of that restricted zone. The secondary defender can't be set up inside that circle, that semicircle, so he had to move his feet right as contact was coming to get out of there.
Those are always the tough plays down there. Bang, bang around the rim.
Boy, guys. Boy, Taylor just got called for an offensive foul as Geist was coming back down the floor. You don't see that very often.
That's normally what guards do. Get your body in front of that defender to get the foul yourself. And I don't see the arm extending there. He might have given him a little bit of the hip, but this is like Geist was coming back over the top of him.
Missouri down 3 now. Here's Pickett off to Geist. Boy, UCF really extending their defense now. Those open three-point shots early in the game haven't been there the last few possessions. Shot clock at 3. Geist spins. He's in a little bit of trouble off the back of the rim, and another offensive rebound. Smith puts it up. UCF having a tough time defending the glass, but they do lead by 3.
1 Notre Dame. Number 2 Connecticut. Number 1 Notre Dame. Number 2 Connecticut. Women's basketball royalty versus the reigning queens. Gino, Muffet, oh my. The Women's Jimmy V Classic. Today at 4 on ESPN.
Number 2, number 1. Doesn't get much better than that, especially in December. That could very well be a preview of a national title game coming up. You see UConn has pretty much dominated this series, but Notre Dame, as good as they come right now, as they defeated UConn in the Final Four in overtime. But Muffet and Gino, two of the best at what they do. That tips in about a half hour. UCF leads by 3 here over Missouri, as Mark Smith knocks home the free throw. 12 of the 18 points so far for Missouri came on 3-point shots, and those were early in the half. They've had a tough time despite getting 6 offensive rebounds.
UCF switched zone, and that has slowed Missouri down a little bit. They've done a good job finding shooters.
Boy, I haven't heard a lot from Dawkins in the first half. Just 2 points, both at the free throw line. Matter of fact, the first 2 points of the game for Central UCF. As the Knights misfire on that possession, here comes Geis back the other way. Per year, southpaw in and out. Chad Brown with a rebound. He may have tipped Nico. Allen off to Colin Smith. Collins, little fall away, won't go. Nico the rebound.
Smith has been very good here in the first half of play, but they won't shoot a fadeaway necessarily there. Run some offense, get an open look.
Oh, there's a turnover. Be an easy bucket. UCF with a throwdown. Dayon Griffin, the redshirt senior, transferred in from Louisiana Tech.
Talking with Gonzo Martin, turnovers. About 55 turnovers in those 3 losses. And it's not in one spot. It's not necessarily guards. It's not necessarily the bigs. It's everybody at different times, different situations. And there, can't turn the basketball over to lead the runouts. Can't defend against those.
Loose ball on the deck. Here's Smith back the other way. The big fella leading the charge. Lost the handle. They're going to say offensive foul against Colin Smith. Back on the floor is Taco Fall along with Cesar de Jesus. Taco at 7'6", 310 pounds. As you see, one of the top 40 tallest human beings in the world. Got that 22 size shoe. That's crazy.
It's just incredible. You're just watching them. You can't get used to it. That size and that length. You haven't seen anything like it.
And I'll say it again, he moves so well for a guy who's 7'6", 310 pounds.
And I've been impressed with how he's improved over the years, and the coaches have said he's worked very hard. He's able to put on some weight. He is skilled. It's not just a guy with size. When he gets it down low, He's worked very hard going right, left hand hook shots.
He'll just throw it into the 7'6" post player. Now he sets up on that block. Boy, nice offensive set, but UCF can't finish. Here comes Geis the other way. A little run out, corner. Pickett had it blocked. That was by Chad Brown. It'll belong to Missouri with 21 on the shot clock. I mean, Chad Brown is 6'9", but he looks like he's 6'1" next to Taco Fall.
He comes behind Taco. I'll tell you what, Chad Brown can get up, and he gets up quick. He's one of those guys that's a quick leaper. Quick off the floor. Really good job there. How about that? Dealing with 7'6", and then you got a guy that comes in behind that can leap out of the gym just in case 7'6" can't get it. Chad Brown cleans it up. They don't recognize the shot clock here.
2 seconds per year will fire away. That won't go, and rebound to Brown. He'll get it off to Jarrell Allen, a redshirt junior. He's another transfer, came in from Drexel. Taco Fall, foul underneath. Boy, not much per year to do. When Taco kind of gets his spot, it's hard to move him out of the way.
You have to do your work early. So down screen, you turn right into your defender. You're not moving him off the block. But it's not the worst thing to foul him in that situation. Make him go to the line. He's only shooting 27%. Those hands, they're just so big. This is going to be an area where he's going to continue to struggle. He can work on it all he wants. He can improve and get better. But imagine shooting with a Nerf basketball. That's what it's like for him. No matter how often you practice shooting, that is just an awkward position to have the basketball with his hand being that big. It is hard to shoot. I continue to get a lot of reps and confidence. It's going to be hard for him to shoot from the line.
Blocked by Fall.
He does that as good as anybody in the country right there. Using that length, second man off the floor, make that offensive player commit to going up into the air, and then he times it up. And blocks another one.
Just a little bit shy of 3 blocks a game. UCF now starting to kind of get their offense cranked up a little bit. And I think it really started when they clamped down defensively.
Yes, and a very good set that time. Aubrey Dawkins is terrific. Coming off of that little pin down, curls into the shot with the mid-range jumper. He is deadly from there.
Dawkins has 4. That was his first field goal. Here's Pickett. Per year now in the corner. We go under 3 minutes here in the first half. Smith left it short. Chad Brown tangled up underneath. They're going to say jump ball as Mitchell Smith gets in there. But 2:53 to go in the opening half. The Knights up by 5 here on the road. There is the man, Taco Fall, who has certainly changed, I guess, how things look offensively for Missouri.
Well, you can't prepare going up against 7'6". If he's not blocking shots, he's altering shots. You can tell these are not just misses. Some of these are some bad misses because he's flying out at you. Some of these blocks lead to runouts for UCF.
You look at Johnny Dawkins' defense. Matter of fact, over the last 2 years, he's had one of the best defenses in the country, and it looks like they are going to be a formidable opponent in that area again. I mean, this is a team of the last 2 years that has been among the best in the nation, just 38% from the field over the last 2 years. Matter of fact, that's #1 in the country.
And Johnny Dawkins has always had really good defensive teams. Obviously, having a 7'6" guy in your back line helps you out. When you got that in your program, you have to build your system around him to utilize him and make him effective. You can see there, guards are funneling the ball here to make them go into the lane. Challenge Taco, because there's nothing there when you get into that lane and he's stepping out on you. So defensively, those guards pressure, make the dribbler put it on the floor, and make them deal with Taco Fall inside.
Boy, Missouri in a world of hurt offensively. They have missed 9 straight shots. Offensive foul. That will go against Dawkins.
And he's trying to get some separation coming off the screen. He extends the arms, and that's what gets the call.
That's the second on Dawkins. Looks like he'll be checking out the next dead ball. Smith inside to Nico. Tried to take it over Taco Fall. Didn't happen.
And that was excellent position on the inside. Nico caught it extremely deep in that lane. Normally that's a basket. Again, you see the length coming into play. Nico has to shoot it higher than normal. And misses the shot.
Taco Fall gets the shot to go down, and he will head to the free throw line. Hey, this week, ESPN's Monday Night Football is an NFC East matchup as Washington meets Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are chasing Dallas after the Cowboys upset the Saints on Thursday night. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 6 Eastern, followed by the game at 8:15 on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and of course, it's always on the app. So how about this? It has been 5.5 minutes without a point for Missouri. They have missed 10 straight shots, and they're 1 for the last 13.
And they have to take advantage of these last 2 minutes. Taylor and Dawkins on the bench with 2 fouls. Missouri has to cut into this lead going into the half.
Taco Fall got a piece of that one. Little tie up underneath, loose ball on the deck. Nico had it, lost it. De Jesus comes out of there with it, and he'll get it to Allen. Oh, big collision underneath. Offensive foul. Allen just went flying in the lane, and there were too many white jerseys in front of him.
You want to slow down with Dawkins and Taylor out. Try to get Fall a touch on the inside if you can. I like the attack. Just got to be smart. Come to a jump stop there when you get into the lane and see what you have.
One minute to play here in the first half. It started so well for Missouri, but has not ended well. Nico gets it out to Geist. Mitchell Smith turns and fires. That won't drop, and the drought continues. We're closing in on 6.5 minutes. Matter of fact, it's now 6:44 without a point for Missouri, and the lead is 7 for the Knights. You know, we were talking about Taco Fall and what he brings defensively, but as you talked about, he's worked hard to get his offensive game in sync with his defensive game.
Yeah, and he used to just be a shot blocker in his first couple years. Could struggle around the rim, but he's gotten so much better. Good skill there around the basket. Plays through contact now because he's added some of that strength. Really good job getting position and then finishing. He is a very good option now on the offense and defensive end.
Foul against Missouri, so
maybe just stepped out of the
just stepped out of bounds.
So they're going to keep it with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Five on the shot clock. Some contact. DeJesus hits the deck. And then foul on Suggs. You see our leading scorers. You can't say enough about the impact of Colin Smith. When UCF had no offense, he came in and really gave that spark.
Absolutely. It looked like it could maybe get away from UCF early on in this ball game. And Colin Smith did a terrific job of getting some buckets around the rim to keep them in it. Mark Smith has been quiet now. Knocked down his first 2 threes. That was in the first couple minutes of the ball game. Hasn't really gotten a look since.
Yeah, only 4 shots in the game, and 2 of those, as you mentioned, like right after the tip, 2 3-pointers. He sits on 8 points in 16 minutes. Timeout, Missouri. With 16.9 seconds to play before the break, so they'll try to set something up here. What has happened to Missouri's offense? I mean, it looked good the first 7-8 minutes of this game.
Yeah, UCF switched to a zone, and it really has slowed down Missouri. Threw them off the rhythm a little bit. They haven't been able to get it back. But now if you're going to see that zone, you need to get some penetration into the lane. See if you can get some drive and kick to threes. Obviously, it's difficult to score on the inside because of Taco Fall. So you don't want to keep attacking him every possession, but if you can drive into the lane to get that defense to collapse and then kick out to a shooter like a Mark Smith, see if you can get him going again and get an open look.
Yeah, Mark Smith averaging 12.8 points a game, 6 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field, but 52% from behind the arc. He's only attempted 4 shots here in the opening half. So keep an eye on 13 White. He posts up on the baseline.
And it's zone again, so can you get some penetration and find Smith?
There he is, corner 3, no good. Another opportunity, another offensive rebound for Missouri. That won't go. There's the tap by Mitchell Smith, and that'll end the half. The first basket in 7.5 minutes for Missouri. It is a low-scoring game, 27-21, UCF out in front.
Missouri able to get on the glass, or that's how they're able to get some buckets early on. Missouri's got some work to do, but working on the glass, chipping that lead right before the half.